like for public hearing. Now we're good? All right.
Sorry. Good evening. The June 10th Westfield Washington School Board of School Trustees meeting is now in session. Since we have a quorum, please stand for a moment of silence and pledge of allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. All right, next item on the agenda is for the board to hold the preliminary hearing on the proposed GO bonds projections. If you are interested in speaking at the hearing, please make sure you have signed and sign-in sheet, which should include your name and address. After presentation by the administration and its advisors, there will be an opportunity for the public to make comments about the project. At the hearing, we will ask that each person limit their comments to 3 minutes and that the topic be limited to the proposed project under consideration. The notice of this preliminary determination hearing was published as legally required. At the time, I will ask Dr. Kaiser to explain the purpose of the hearing and the purpose of determining and communicating the projects in the community and the need for the projects. Now, how the proposed projects meet the needs, how the proposed projects will be financed, as well as information about the effect on the typical property taxpayer.
Thank you, Mr. President. Pursuant to Indiana Code 6-1.1-20-3.5, a school corporation must hold two public hearings and adopt a resolution to preliminarily determine to issue bonds or enter a lease for a project which has the total project cost in excess of certain thresholds. These public hearings and future consideration resolutions are the very beginning of the legal process. We note there are no board action is required for this first hearing. Rather, this hearing is solely to hear public comment regarding the project. So, a general scenario to talk about the project, 90% of schools in the state of Indiana do general obligation bonds. It's a very cost-effective way to do it. You'll pay those GO bonds back over a period of time based on your capacity. In my previous district, because of lowest assessed evaluation, we pay them out over 20 years. In a district like Westfield, we'll pay this back with anywhere from 3 to 5 years. And that'll be based on when we go to sell the bonds, we look at the market, we look at the timing, we look to see where assessed valuation is at that time. And so there'll be different determining factors related to that. Again, it's a 3 to 5 year payback. It should bring us between 5 and 8 million, again, based on what's our assessed valuation, and then what's the bond market. It could vary that much. Right now, today, the bond market is good, but based on what might or may not happen nationally, you never know until that period of time. The need of the project is very simple. Westfield, because of our property tax caps, we pay for our buses through GO bonds. And I think we've done that over the last 5 to 6 years. In addition to that, Dr. Aith and his team will have an updated technology plan. For example, we bought the ViewSonics, which have been a tremendous positive for our teachers in the classroom. And now I believe everybody but the intermediate school has them, and they'll start working on that building in the near future. That technology, and then the other big aspect of this, because of property tax caps, we lose money on the operations side to do projects. I've asked Mike Hall, I said, I'm going to be gone, but I want a fence over here along Oak Trail in front of our food pantry shelter over here, all the way across, because the things we have sticking out of the ground are not very nice. And I'd like to see something over in that area behind Monon, I think I might have said Oak Trace, Monon, to clean it up. If we do something like that, put any kind of fencing, it would come out of the GO bond. So any type of project that we can't pay out of operations would come for that. If we were doing anything additional after the construction back on the site behind us, if we needed to put an extra backstop up or you wanted to add additional parking, again, it could come out of the GO bond. So that's in general the aspects. The underwriters and our bond counsel and Stifel, they'll give us more financial data as we move forward. The closer we get to selling them, the more details we'll have. So again, the annual lease, the payment, the length of time, that's all going to be determined. So I'll turn it back to the board president.
All right, thank you. We're now open the public hearing. Remember, if you'd like to speak, please sign in. Did we get anybody? Nobody? Okay. Again, no board action is legally required at this hearing. Rather, this hearing is solely for the public to comment. Hearing no comments from the public, we'll keep on moving forward. We have one business of operations item to consider this evening, the YMCA and Westfield Washington Schools Operation Agreement with Dr. Kaiser will present.
Thank you, Mr. President. Over the last several months, the district has been working closely with the YMCA to establish an updated operations agreement now that the YMCA has completed and moved into new spaces. That couple of months has really been about 12. We've been working on that. Through the process, Brian Kelly has done a magnificent job, along with the rest of the Westfield leadership team, in working to establish terms and conditions that best represent the needs and expectations of the Westfield Washington schools. Under this new agreement, YMCA will pay for all utilities for their new YMCA space, and WWS will pay for the Life Ready Center. We'll continue to pay utilities tied to the original building. In the pool area, the YMCA will be responsible for cleaning of the entire facility, and then we will pay for our spaces that are cleaned under that contract. It's just much easier to have them an outside contractor, and they're there all the time, and we think it'll help with the overall cleanliness of the building. The YMCA will perform on a contract for snow removal. We'll take care of the performance of the lawn and maintenance. But again, just to emphasize that we've really worked hard on this. There's been a very positive, we all want to just make sure it's fair and equal and balanced, with the ability to come back and look at it again, after the first year and a half, and see where we are. So the partnership is new and unique to the school system for schools across the country. We'll continue to monitor the agreement and to make sure it's in the best interest of us and our taxpayers, and we'll make adjustments as needed. The fiscal note, there is none at this point in time. And at the end of, when Greg gets on board, it'd be a great opportunity for him to meet with Brian and start looking at the data and where we are and see that. But then when we come to December, we'll reconcile any differences that we need and balance that all out. So we recommend that the Board of Trustees approve this agreement for the operation agreements for the YMCA and Westfield Washington schools.
At this time, I will entertain a motion to approve the YMCA WWS operations agreement as presented.
So moved.
Do I have a second?
Second.
It has been moved and seconded to approve the YMCA WWS operations agreement. Any questions? I know I have one. I'm assuming that each building or each section that we're going to pay for our own electricity, they're going to pay for their own
Yeah.
electricity, has their own meters?
Yeah, when that was designed, Hunt Construction was really good working with us, along with our architect. When it was designed, Brian with his background, Brian Kelly, it was set up so we could definitely, they can monitor their side, we can monitor our side. So we'll be able to do that.
So it's not like a 60-40
No.
electricity thing?
No,
It's
not on those two
100% you, 100% us?
Yeah,
All right.
yeah.
Okay.
Now in the pool, we've got how we're gonna divide the pool up based on usage and things like that. But the others are very specific on all the utilities. And that was part of the design process.
And maybe I missed this in the contract. Is there an end date to this contract? Like, is this for a 1-year contract, a 3-year contract?
That's a great question. I don't remember that, to be honest with you.
Because I see we're going to make adjustments as needed, but if it's
It-
a
it-
binding forever
it's-
contract, then we,
No, it's an annual contract, let me
Okay.
answer that.
there we go.
And like, when you don't have that, so it's an annual contract that we'll sit on every year, and
Okay.
we'll have to renew. And I would suggest, and John, you'll be responsible for this, we can bring it back and see if we have any adjustments and renew it. But we didn't necessarily set a timeline
Yeah,
on it.
and I do believe it's a great question. It's not clarified in there, so the understanding is it will be the guiding contract until we adopt something new.
Yeah.
But we have an annual review that we will do of that. So at that point, we actually, as we start using the Life Ready Center and it's open, we already have things coming up like drop-off procedures during the school day, how that we sharing the parking lot because it's both of our, how
Yeah.
are we going to do that? Things that, as we use it, we're going to probably want to add in that annual review. But, so it's my understanding that if it takes us, in an annual review, 2 extra months, this document would guide that till it's adjusted.
Okay.
So there's not an end
Good
date
question.
to it, so to speak, but just an annual review process.
Okay, I just want to make sure, like, we might want to change it, they might not.
Right.
So as
Yeah,
long as
and-
we,
and no doubt about that, that's the conversation. Matter of fact, Mike Hall got a call last week, and typically he says, hey, they have things they want to talk about. So we say, go on over there, see what they are. If we need to schedule a bigger meeting, we can. Ultimately, though, anything that we think we need to put in here, we might come back in 6 months and say, hey, we're going to amend this because we've discovered some things. Again, our biggest concern is as we start having shuttle buses running during the day, we clearly understand that we probably won't drop off at the main entrance. That's not probably a wise thing to do, but if we're going to drop off on this side, then can you help us keep this side of the parking lot during the day open so our shuttle buses can run in? And we might have to put up some cones and things. And just, we want to make sure that everybody's in agreement. This is what we're going to do, stay safe. Whose responsibility is this? And clarify that.
And it's been a very good working relationship. Just the original contract, as we started looking at expenses and everything, it was a little bit imbalanced. We feel really comfortable about
Yeah,
this. and- yeah.
Yeah, one of the things in the original contract, I believe it said once the rest of the Y was open, the Y would vacate the coach's office. And so we changed that because both parties said that the Y needs access and to use that office, and our coaches were okay with that. But originally, we thought, okay, that's going to be our space, but once they used it together, they said, oh, this works well. So that was an adjustment that wasn't really a cost adjustment that we made in the original agreement. So we even got into that kind of detail originally. So I think we'll want to especially spell it out for those things. If some of us aren't around, hey, here's what we agreed to.
Sure. Any other questions or discussions? Hearing none, all in favor say aye. Aye. Are opposed? The motion is passed. With no further business,
Can I make a comment
please do.
before you adjourn? So I'll ask these 3 board members, because you weren't a board member then. Do you remember the last question you asked me during the interview process, the first round? Well, you asked me if I had any questions. You remember what I responded to?
I'm gonna guess something about the University Center.
No.
Oh.
No, remember, I was retired, so I could say this question because I was retired coming back. I said, I want to make it very clear, the role of the board is to hire the superintendent, make board policy, and let us lead. And I just want to thank you 3, and Bill, and Jimmy, and you moving in this position for letting us to do that. You guys get, especially during COVID, you talk about being inundated with people, and you guys have done a great job, especially during that time of directing them to us. The more you can do that for John and his team, the better it is. You've done a really good job in that chain of command, and it's tough, especially for you people that have lived here a couple of years.
Right.
When your grade school buddy said, hey, Mike, I don't like Dr. da-da-da-da-da-da.
Yeah.
But I just want to thank you for that, and because, I hate to say it's my best board, but boy, I tell you, it sure has been enjoyable the last 4 years.
Good.
I've been very blessed in my 3 schools to have great school boards, and equally, you guys are just great people, and I just want to say thank you, thank you, thank you. And I'll be hanging around until the July, but this is the last board meeting And as I continue to say, ask John. Thank you very much.
Oh, thank you. Other success stories. I think the tennis team did great. The baseball team
Baseball's going.
is moving on.
Baseball's in
Golf
Sunnyside
was,
State.
regionals, right?
Yes, so they won, I think it's Thursday, but yesterday, probably the toughest
Yeah.
sectional in the state. They actually call it a mini state, I think, but,
The golf?
yeah, because
Golf,
Nice.
Yeah.
I think 4 of the top teams in the state, but only 3 move on, so,
Unfortunately, Garen, didn't.
Yeah.
Well, Garen didn't go on.
Even though their score is way better than a lot
Most of the
a lot of
states,
states.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, they talked about it in the paper.
Well,
we played great yesterday, the Westfield team did. We were just a few over par. So we have high hopes going into Thursday.
Do we know where baseball semi-state's gonna be?
yeah, it's
South Bend?
South Bend,
Yeah.
at their minor league park up there,
Yep.
which is really great. Chris knows a lot about that.
Need to check with Bill, see if he wants to go. Are you gonna go?
We play the second game in the morning, and then if we win that game, we play in the evening.
Now, when
So
we win
there's-
that game, we're playing the evening.
Yeah, when we,
That's right.
We play Goshen first?
Ocean first.
Nice.
Penn was 30-1.
Wow.
Yeah. And then let's not forget about
Exciting
Unified
weekend.
Sports.
Oh, yeah.
Yes,
Oh, my gosh.
shout out to O'Neill. She was, Selena, she got, Mental Attitude Award type thing.
yeah, her and Gabe,
Her and Gabe, thank you, which is huge.
yeah, it was, yes.
Um,
I wasn't there, but a college roommate of mine who's an athletic director said, hey, you need to check who just won the mental attitude in unified track. And so that's where I got that picture from.
Yeah, that's an awesome picture. That's just something that doesn't happen. I don't know if it's ever happened at Westfield,
Yeah.
as far as that goes, is mental
Well
attitude.
deserved, both those
Oh,
great
great
kids,
people.
great families,
Yeah. So,
great representatives of Westfield.
yes, by far. All right, any other success stories? Can I have a motion to adjourn the meeting?
So moved.
Second?
Second.